Good morning to all the students of class 12th political science, and students, welcome back to the online classes here. As we were doing the fourth chapter of our second book, and the chapter name is India's Foreign Policy, and the five parts we have already completed, and in the last fifth part we had discussed about the border disputes between India and China, which is one of the most important topic of this chapter. And previous to that we had done the Tibet issue, which was the first starting point or the point of dispute between India and China. So today, then we had also seen some of the effects on India internally as well as externally after the war of 1962. So we discussed about the effect of war of 1962 on Indian politics as well. So now today in this sixth part of this chapter, India's foreign policy, we are going to discuss about the relations after 1962. To what were the and what kind of relations did India and China had after the war of 1962. So we will be talking about convergence. Here means we can say about cooperation or mutual understanding. How we had tried to improve our relations after the war of 1962. So, if we talk about the relations between India and China after the war of 1962, so it was very for the very first time we saw in 1976. You need to remember this date. In 1976, China and India restored ambassadorial relations and bilateral ties improved gradually. It means here in 1976 there was a new formation or new we can say government or new leadership in China. They also had changed their economic policies, as we had done and read in the topic when we were reading about Chinese emerging China's economy. So, and in 1977 there was also a change in leadership or the government in India. Also Janata Party came into establishment here. Okay, so from 1976 onwards there was a change in relationship between these two countries and the important countries of Asia, and there were some ambassadors relations were maintained. Previously there were no ambassadors in each other country, but now in India there was ambassador and embassies of China, and in China there were ambassadors and embassy of India. And so there started up bilateral ties improved gradually. So in terms of economy and peace and in certain fields, trade, commerce, we had started some bilateral ties after 1976. It was only after there was change in leadership in China. So now, the series of talks to resolve the border disputes were also initiated in 1991. So that is in 1981. Again, there were some initiatives taken by India as well as by China to solve and resolve the issues, the border issues, the conflicts based on the border region of India and China. Although it is still going on, even it is more worse now, as you must have seen currently in the news channels. So this is the situation of India China relations now at the border. You can see in the news channels also. But again, after improving some relation bilateral ties in 1981, again it initiatives were taken to resolve the border issues. Then in 1988, you need to remember these are the important dates: 1976, 1981. There were initiatives to resolve or make some solution to solve the problems of border issues. Then in 1988, here, Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi visited China. So in 1988, Rajiv Gandhi visited China, initiating the process of normalization of bilateral relations. So he has worked to this sector where he has tried to bring peace and development and growth to both India China relations, as these two are the emerging powers and both has the potential to be one of the superpowers or emerging powers at the world level, at the global level. So here Rajiv Gandhi on the visit to China in 1988 has tried to normalize and bring the conditions to a normal level where there can be various bilateral relations to improve the economy and the political, social and economical relations between India and China. So this was the, we can say, move by the Indian Prime Minister in 1988. So next important point is, after the end of Cold War, Indo-China relations acquired strategic as well as economic significance. As we know, this Cold War ended in 1991. So from here, the Indo-China relations have taken a completely a different turn, where both the countries had started acting diplomatically, started growing their bilateral relations in terms of economy. Okay, so they have more focus on the economical growth by mutual understanding, by mutual growth. Okay, as we know, India is a very big market. As you can see in the market, there are so many products. Most of the products are from China, although recently there are various programs are going on to boycott the Chinese products, but this is all due to the recent relations with China, where we are having a lot of conflicts at the relating to border issues. But previously, after the Second World War, end of the Cold War in 1991, that is after 1991, India and China both have tried to acquire the good relations in terms of economic significance. Here are some of the examples we can say, where we will see that how India and China both have taken initiatives to improve the relations after the Cold War. China and India have held 6 rounds of strategic economic dialogues to exchange microeconomic policies on infrastructure. So here, 6 round of strategic economic dialogues to exchange. So there have been many meetings, many discussions for the mutual growth, economic growth in the field of infrastructure, high technology, energy conservation, environmental protection, energy and medicine, promote practical economic and trade cooperation. All these are some of the most important fields where China and India have set an agendas to bring to come together and cooperate with each other to bring the economic growth and development, and also to improve their mutual relations. So this we are discussing after the war of 1962, how the relations were changing on the positive note, we can say. Since we are talking about the India-China relations, especially after the war of 1962, and now we are talking about the after the Cold War, and that is after 1992. So both these countries have taken initiative, and frequently both the leadership or the prime ministers or the top leaders have visited both the countries. Like Indian prime minister has always visited China many times, and Chinese president has also come to India for meeting India's president and prime minister. Two countries have held frequent exchange of high level visits. So there has been many high level visits since 2014. If I talk about after 2014, since we have the BJP government and our prime minister Narendra Modi, there has been 16 it's a good number, 16 bilateral meetings have been there between the president Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So these 16 bilateral meetings have bring the relationship of India and China into a positive note. We have a lot of growth. We could see a lot of positive growth, mutual understanding, cooperation among. But recently the situations have changed. But after 1914 till we can say 2018, the situations were good. The relations were good with China. The friendly relations. We were as the growing economies at the global level and at the Asia. These two were the emerging powers. So now we can say enhancing politics. So as we are talking about the all the high level visits by the leadership of India as well as leadership of China after 2014. So there has been 16 rounds of visits to improve the political mutual trust in these sectors. They have worked political mutual trust on each other, properly managing differences, as we have a lot of differences if we talk about the economic policies, cultural, politics. So we have tried to understand and cooperate with the different, managing differences, expanding practical cooperation so as to guide a better and more stable development of bilateral ties. So we are trying to cooperate with each other, ignoring the various differences between both the countries in terms of economy, political system or culture. But major point and focus is on to stable development, to bring the development by both the initiative of both the countries. And in this point you will see the impact of these high level visits on the trade of India and China. So we'll see how it has increased so far. Since the beginning of 21st century, trade between India and China has gone from less than it used to be previously. It used to be in the 20th century, we can say it used to be only $3 billion, and now it has become to nearly $100 billion. It means it has been increased by 32 times. So the trade which used to be only 3 billion is now $100 billion. That is 32 times than the 20th century. It has increased to 21st century to into 32 times. In 2019, as a relation till 2019 were very much good with China. In 2019, the trade volume between China and India was $92.68 billion. This is the data for 2019 trade between India and China. Of course, now in 2020, there is going to be a lot of decline in this data. As we know, India has banned lot of companies which had invested in India, Chinese industries, Chinese companies, Chinese products, mobiles. As you can say, there is a anti-Chinese revolution going on in the Indian market, where we are boycotting all the products of China. So this is there is going to be a lot of impact on China, as India is a very good market for the Chinese products. So how we can say in 2020 or in the 21st century here, we have again started disturbing our relations with China. So we do not have a good relation presently with China. So with which we are going to discuss here in this topic, that is relations after 1962. But in terms of, previously we talked about relations after 1962, but in terms of cooperation. But now we are talking about divergence, mean disputes. Okay, so what are the disputes, or what are the conflicts and issues which we have with China presently? Okay, and this is a very important topic, and I am sure there will be a question from this topic in your board exam, as this is a recent current we can say GK for you. Nearly 6 decades have passed since then, but the border issue remains unsolved. As we have discussed a lot about the border issues since we have started from Tibet issues. Okay, then we have discussed about the border issues. So after independence till this date, we are still having the border issues, and it is unresolved, and it's still in the process. India has criticized the Chinese funded CPE. So now India has criticized Chinese has funded this CPE. What is the CPE? CPE is China, Pakistan. So we can say there is a good relationship between China and Pakistan, as both are, we can say, the rivals of India. So one is on the western side, one is on the eastern side. So China has funded CPEC, China Pakistan Economic Corridor. So if you see the map of India, on the northern side of India, also touching the border of India, China has made this Chinese Pakistan Economic Corridor. We can say it's like a road. So there is a relation and connection between India, this China and Pakistan. India is at the center, and China has made a corridor to connect with Pakistan. So here China and Pakistan are connected by this CPEC in the northern region of India, which links China's Muslim dominated Xinjiang province to the Gwadar deep sea port in Pakistan. So this CPEC joins areas of China with Pakistan. The project passes from Gilgit. So this project passes from Gilgit, Baltistan in POK. This is Pakistan occupied Kashmir, but India claims this region to be of India's, with New Delhi considered its own territory. So now New Delhi considers its own territory, this part, but this is in POK. Now New Delhi, or we can say India, has also criticized or taken a stand against Beijing's strong armed tactics. Now China has having a armed tactics in South China Sea, the area south of China. This is South China Sea. Here there are many small islands where China has started annexing and controlling the territories of these islands and claiming it to be its territory, even as in slowly by steadily builds military ties with countries like, now it is also having a military ties with countries in the southern China's south of China, that is Vietnam, Malaysia. Okay, China's stand on India's entry to nuclear supply group. So China has always been against India's. China doesn't want India to grow as strong as China. As in, if you see in the Asian region, along with, as China is the growing economic and the power at the global level and the most important emerging power in Asia. India is also one of the most emerging power. So China has always taken a stand against India in nuclear supplies group, NSG. Okay, here China claims that as India had not signed the non-proliferation treaty, and so India did not cannot be a member of nuclear suppliers group, NSGs. So China also opposes India's membership into this group of nuclear suppliers group. China also opposes the permanent seat in the United Nations. This question was there in the exam also, as India considered that it has all the things which can make it a permanent member of the Security Council of United Nations. But here China always take a stand against India's entry into Security Council as a permanent member. And there has been many use of veto power by China in relation to the cross-border terrorism, where India has always targeted few of the terrorists which they want to tag them as the global terrorist, and but China has always used its veto power to protect those terrorists who have been involved in attacking India many times. So China has also supported the terrorism at the global level. Now you must be thinking why China is doing all this against India. So there is a reason why China is always against India. China perceives itself as a leading power ruling the unipolar world by 2050. So China here thinks that China can be the most superpower by 2050, which will control the whole world, like there was a US hegemony. Now China thinks there can be a US hegemony. It can control all the markets politically, socially, economically. Okay, but there is a, we can say, a barrier to this growth of China, which is India. It is therefore not comfortable. So here China is not comfortable at all with the growth of India as the increasing power or increasing influence at the global level, and especially in the Asian region. So it is therefore not comfortable. China is not comfortable with the rise of India in the region as a potential competitive power. It thinks India has the potential to give competition to the power of China. So this is a reason, and most reason where China is always involved in some of the other disputes with India. Okay, as recently we can see, there has been news, the Galwan Valley standoff. There has been a problem at the Galwan Valley. Standoff has further aggravated this situation. So if you talk about the relation between India and China, it is going bad to worse now. The decision of India's government, now India's government recently in the news, it was there, India has banned 59 Chinese apps, as you were using many of the applications. Okay, regarding Chinese, there were many Chinese companies in India who were making investment and gaining profit from here. India has banned those investment companies also. India has boycott China campaign. There is a boycott China campaign going at the social media also. You must have seen all around people are trying and to give up the products of China. This will have a long term implication on the relations between. So this is going to have a very negative impact on the relation between India and China. But the steps which Indian government has taken, it was very much required, and there was always some environment of tension and conflicts at the border region with coming with China, as well as regional and global politics, where it is to be seen. So we don't know exactly that what will be our relations with China in the coming 4 to 5 years, which direction it will take. Will there be a war, or there will be a cooperation again, there will be a good trade again? But it is going to take definitely 5 to 10 years, as presently we have seen the condition and the relations have deteriorated a lot between both the countries, and these are the two important countries of Asia which are growing at the global level. They are like a challenge to the powers at the global level. So this will be important, that how this relation will move on, because presently the situation is not good between India and China. So with this we come to the end of this topic. that is India-China relation. It has been a, I have taken most of the topics here because this is going to be an important topic from the point of view of the board exams. As you need not to read the book for this topic. If you see the news channels, if you read the articles on the relationship of India and China presently, you will have the lot of data and content to write in your answers, because this is a recent situation or the relation we are studying about India and China. So this topic is very important. I have told you again and again in every video. In the next video, we shall be reading maybe about the relations between India and Russia, or I will take India or US. With this, we come to the end of this topic, that is India-China relations. Hope you have understood. Thank you. Take care.